First, we're going to start with identifying spawn areas. I'm going to go over just the good spawn areas in this, and so just know everything else is bad. So, this spawn I got spawned in here. This is going to be the Clip C region, which is going to be this mushroom flood, and technically that one over there. And what I mean by mushroom flood is that's where you're gonna mushroom flood your base. So that's gonna be a base location. So in this region, how to identify it, you're going to see this cave right here. You should have a coral tube, patch of mushrooms, this kind of sticking out thing, at the arch here, and the big cave. And it's going to have 2 sandstone in it. This is very good to know. This is called the Clip C cave. So when you make your base over here in Clip C or alternate Clip C, if you need backup sandstone, you go there. Now, this is going to be kind of the central area with the kind of walkway here. You can identify it from the coral tube. So this is a very good region as well. This is pretty much the best place you can spawn, other than right over here next to Clip C, because that's where you're going to build the base. Or if you are running the A spawn over there, which I'll show you now. But yeah, this big coral tube. This coral tube is distinct between the other one. If you see another coral tube that doesn't have 2 opening ends, it is bad, and it has a lot of crash fish in it that want to kill you. Not good. So coming over here, this is called the low ceiling cave, and this is the A spawn Clip A region. And you can see here, it's kind of like a oval circular shape, has a lot of holes to go in. And if you go in, you can see it has a very low ceiling. That's why I call it the low ceiling cave. It has 3 sandstone and crash fish in it. This is going to be part of the route that we need to get the sandstone. So this region is good. Over here, this is where the Clip A base location is. You can identify it from the 3 kind of things here. Very distinct between other regions. And it's next to the low ceiling cave. This is how you can identify that. The Clip B / geyser region over here. You can see the arch, this arch here that goes into the coral tube. You can see the this certain kelp forest here. You can see how it kind of is nothingness over there into the grassy plateau. You can see that in the distance. This kind of circular region here. This arch, the geyser. This is the most recognizable part, is this geyser. It has the dead patches here. It has no acid mushrooms. The geyser will erupt. It'll have this distinct wreck that we're gonna need that has Seaglides in it. This is how you get this region memorized, is the geyser, this arch over here, this arch, the circular region. And yeah, those are the 3 different areas, A, B, and C, that you need to memorize. Everything else is pretty much bad. As well as this region here, I like to call it the fake Clip C, because it's close to Clip C, but it's not quite good. It's kind of farther from where you want to be. You'll know it's there from spawning near floaters. This kind of ravine here that goes into the coral tube cave, and the arch here, as well as seeing the coral tube in the east, I think that is. Okay, we're gonna start with the basic routes from different spawns. So when you're in this region here, this is kind of far from where you want to be, ideally closer to the coral tube. When you're here, unfortunately, it's pretty much the worst. You can check over here along this for any limestone outcrops, as well as along this. But mainly, you would want to search this cave here for any limestone, and then as long as you're here, grab the sandstone. If you're here in the fake Clip C area, if you're in this side, you want to go down into this kind of ravine here. Usually these ravines will have a lot of limestone, quartz, metal salvage even spawn everywhere here. And yeah, you can get all your stuff here, and above there's all the mushrooms on the side. And if you're on this side, it would just be going into this corresponding ravine here. Seems that this one is slightly worse with resources than the other one, but there's still a lot that spawn here that you can use. So if you're in this kind of coral tube area here, usually you'd want to go around the coral tube here. They spawn along here to the corner down here. They spawn, and above here to get your acid mushrooms and your limestone. And then all along this wall here they can spawn. So it spawns here, along this wall as well. And that's how you get it here. If you're on top of the coral tube, it's a little bit awkward because you have to swim a bit more. But it should be along the coral tube. There's a bunch of limestone. Here they can spawn. They can spawn along here as well. So if you're in the low ceiling cave area, it is usually best to just go into the low ceiling cave. There's a guaranteed 6 mushrooms only here, so you can kind of just go here, get them. If you spawn over here, and then you're done with that, and then you just go in here, you would find a bunch of outcrops here. I recommend checking these places first. So check right here, come through here, make sure you're checking up into the side. And the reason is because they can spawn pretty much everywhere on the sides here, like even here. So you want to double check that you're not missing them. And they can spawn pretty much all through here, but the crash fish do spawn here, so be careful. If you're in the Clip A region here, it's usually pretty far from everything, but it's where you're going to place your base down if you're doing Clip A. Usually, this cave right here, so there's these 3 things, and there's a thing right here that's kind of like next to it. It has a cave in it. This one also has a cave, but nothing really spawns there. But this has a guaranteed 2 item spawns right here, and it can be both limestone. So right here it was both limestone. You spawn in this area, come through this cave, bam, bam, and you're done. Other than that, they can all spawn along the walls here pretty much. Pretty much everywhere there probably could spawn. But I see here, it spawns there. Or if you spawn on the side of the low ceiling cave here, on this like side piece, there's a way to get into the low ceiling cave if you don't see any outcrops, but usually they spawn along the side here. And if you spawn around here, it's kind of bad. Usually they do spawn down here in this region here. You can see one spawn there. They can spawn along the walls. But a good spot is that if you spawn more near the coral tube here, or not the coral tube, the geyser, this is guaranteed to be here every single time. As well as these mushrooms. And then you can check the ridge here. You can see one spawn there. They can spawn along here. And so if you spawn in this region, you can loot that. If you spawn on the geyser, the best way is to quickly look along this side, and then all of this side to see if anything's there. Nothing spawned there, so it's kind of like, oh, we're not getting outcrops. This cave technically can have them. So there's one here. And it can spawn in here as well. Not very often though. But also if you spawn like right above the geyser, you can kind of just swim in it and check the sides here, like right there. And you can just go in it and hope you get them along the top here, so you don't really have to go too inside the geyser to get them. But usually geyser often doesn't have a lot of outcrops. So once you get back and you craft your scanner, this route is very important. You want to wait till the scanner's in your inventory, then go storage. Go storage is when you interact with the storage container and leave the pod at the same time. And when you open the container, it opens the PDA, but it's slightly delayed. So if you use this animation to cancel it out, you can have your inventory storage, this storage right here, from anywhere. This is called Go Storage, or we use a flare for it later, for flare storage. So you want to wait till the scanner's in your inventory, then do it, because the reason is you keep one item after you die. And if we leave before the scanner's in our inventory, it won't register. Therefore, if we would go to pick up an item and keep it for later, it will have a chance to do that instead of our scanner, and then we'll lose our scanner, and it's pretty bad. So get the scanner inventory, go storage. So like that. And if you're in this region, it's kind of a far swim. You kind of just want to swim straight to the coral tube. You want to get to this right here and go through it. If you're on a geyser spawn where you're at the Seaglide wreck first, do the Seaglide wreck first, then go through the geyser through the other way. But here we're going to collect all the resources we can. So we want a metal salvage, 2 creepvine seed clusters, and we can get up to 22 items from the coral tube. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So you don't always get 22 items there. They can spawn along here again, so check that. So you don't always get 22. Sometimes you get 18, sometimes you get 14. If you get 18, I recommend picking up a second metal and using that as the 4 for the next for the ghost storage, because you can hold up to 22 items plus the 2 creepvine seed clusters. So in total, the next Seaglide at the next split, you're gonna need 2 metal salvages. So you're getting the 1 now or 2 now, depends. So if you see a bad metal, prioritize the bad metal first. Get 2 creepvine seed clusters here. If you see any MVBs, leave them for later, but if you see any Seaglides, scan them now. So now I'm gonna open my inventory, and I have flare or ghost storage here. I'm going to not put any of the metal in unless I'm down 4, which then you can put the metal in for that 4. But put all this in, and then take out all the food and water, put the rest in, and you can kind of just eat and drink it, or trash it. And you want the metal on you for later. You come over to the wreck. Ideally, you would try to drown by the time you scan the Seaglides, but you don't need to do that. Scan Seaglide, and then drown, die from gasopods, or you can come over here, and as you're drowning, you can pick up metal, you can see if these dogs drop any teeth, you can do extra things here like scan an MVB as you're drowning. And that's pretty much it for this. Again, this is a bad metal. The L-shaped metal is bad. So the difference is, so this one has the L kind of shape. And if I drop my other metal, that's the bad metal actually, my other metal, you can see this one has the middle piece and then like that. So the reason it's bad is because, see, this one, it's a good metal, it drops teeth. This one as well is good metal. Everything except this L-shaped metal is good. So this is the only bad one. This one can't drop teeth, and so it's very bad. So if you can prioritize picking it up, you can then save it, like you can use it yourself to craft so the dogs don't have it. Okay, so when you're back in the pod, you want to craft the metal, take everything out of your storage, craft a silicone rubber, a lubricant, 2 glass, depending on how much quartz you have. If you don't have a lot of quartz, don't make the glass. But if you have a lot of quartz, make the 2 glass. Copper wire. And you should have 4 more batteries on you. I didn't. Make the battery. The standard O2 tank. Knife. And then finally Seaglide. Put everything away. And then look at what you have. So we are gonna need 7 copper, a minimum of 5 copper to build the base. 7 is a good number because you can make the 2 batteries you need. And then all the quartz you can get. So if you think you're gonna fill your inventory up, you can go storage this. But if you don't, like I don't think I will, because my inventory is pretty empty, we're going to just leave. So this will be a different loop depending on where you spawn. If you spawn on this side of this shallows, what you're gonna want to do is cut like these 3 table coral here, or you can wait to cut better table coral later. Depends if where you spawn. If you spawn right here, cut those. If you don't, just wait for later to cut table coral, and you want 3 table coral. But you want to go through this kind of ravine here, the closest one to the coral tube. So go down here. So right here, crash fish will spawn. So be very careful. But again, we're counting to 7 copper. So we had 4. That's 5. 6. 5, sorry. Any quartz. We're gonna get all the sandstone here. So 1, 2, 3. That's 6. And that's 7 copper. So now we don't have to count anymore. We can just get extra if we want. Extra never will hurt, especially if you have ghost storage. Put it in your storage. And as long as you loot the coral tube, just go straight through to the other cave. Loot everything on the sides here. And then what we're going to do is go right where the arch is here. This small arch. And this is where you can cut the table coral if you're coming through this way. And then you go to the low ceiling cave here. Be careful with the crash fish. Exploding the mushrooms, it does a lot of damage. Keep getting everything in here. Get the 3 sandstone. Okay. And so I got 2 gold. we want to aim for 2 gold. If you don't get the 2 gold, there's backups. The clip C cave and the clip A cave, as well as right here. If you were right here and you realize I didn't get it, all you have to do is exit the cave this way, and to your left here is going to be this other cave with a crash fish. There's some other stuff in here, but most importantly, when you come in to up and to the left, there is always a sandstone here. And if you're really desperate, there's another one here. And you can get those two. Or, if you just want to go straight, you can wait to get the clip C cave here, when we do clip C, later. So, I didn't end up getting my second metal salvage that I need. So it's very important that you get those 2 metal salvages in total that you need. So I'm going to get that. And then when you come back from this loop, make the metal, copper wire, battery, computer chip, wiring kit. And this is also where you can double check if you have the gold. It says it's green, so I have it. And then get everything, get all the titanium into your inventory, get the copper, and at least 7 quartz. So, perfect right here. You can put the lead away if you want, get quartz, whatever. This is where we ghost storage, very important here. So we can get those items, and then go to your corresponding base location or clip. Alright, so starting with clip C, you want to come over where this coral tube is, and you want to find this patch here of mushrooms. You want to wedge yourself in between here. Look at this coral shell plate, and you should be able to place the base like this, and go ahead and do that. And that should be the base spot. You want to go ahead and then make your hatch, make your glass compartment not fully constructed to then skip the hatch animation. And then once you go inside and do all your stuff, you come out here. You want to come out here. Make sure you grab 4 mushrooms from the back here. And then knife all that. And you should die, and then the base should flood. And if you spawn in the flooded base, you should get Super Seaglide, but if not, just deconstruct and reconstruct the hatch. And it'll give you Super Seaglide. Okay, so for clip A, you want to come over near the low ceiling cave, and you'll find these 3 like pillars kind of things. You find the middle one, you find this patch right here, and you wedge yourself between these mushrooms. Look about where the coral shell plate is. You want to make sure you place your base about where it is there, so then you don't want any of these mushrooms to get despawned. If any mushrooms get despawned, you're gonna have to pick other mushrooms up and place them down inside here, and then cut them to complete it, because unfortunately this one is less consistent than clip C. And then get your 4 mushrooms for power cell later. Glass compartment to skip the hatch, and you should be able to knife this one, that one pretty quick. And see, I did it without despawning any mushrooms, so it flooded. And again, if you spawn in the base after dying and it floods instantly, you should have Super Seaglide, but if not, deconstruct and reconstruct the hatch and you should have it. Okay, so now we're actually going to do a new clip called, I guess you could name it Clip D, but it's pretty close to the Clip C one, but if you have a worse spawn, like over here by the Clip C cave, you can make it here instead, so it's closer to your base. About as consistent as Clip C, it's just slightly slower because you're doing a bad spawn. So you wedge yourself between the writhing weeds here. Look at the coral shell plate, like about here. It should let you place the base like that. Construct it. These should not despawn. If they do, I think it might still be okay. Glass compartment, skip that exit animation. Pick up these 4 mushrooms. Do everything you need in here. Save your inventory. Come about here and cut them all. And that should flood the base. And you can have Super Seaglide. Okay, now for the Clip B area and Geyser area floods. So these are less viable. There's not really any good routes for them compared to Clip A and B, and I guess Clip D you can call it, which is like the second one you can do there. But if you're at the geyser here, you can do 2 different floods. This flood that I'm going to show you first is pretty far from where you can place the MVB, so it's a little bit worse for the end, but you can get a pretty fast base down. And the other one has a better end, but it's slightly farther away from where you can spawn. So you wedge yourself about here with the mushrooms, and you want to try to get it as low as you can, angled like this, and that should do, and it should not despawn the mushrooms. And for this one, unfortunately you can't take any of the mushrooms from last time I tried. So what I do is the mushrooms we get in glitchless, we also get here, and we just get the 4 that are nicely placed right there. Do everything in here, save your inventory, and I think you should go about here, and it might not end up killing you, but you have mushrooms here you can slice to kill you then, which also means then you wouldn't instantly get Super Seaglide here, like that. You wouldn't instantly get it, so you would have to deconstruct and reconstruct the hatch. Okay, I'm going to show you Clip A, C, B, and the alternative Clip C, or Clip D if you want to call it, clips in the lava zone. So first we're going to start off with the basic Clip C one. You want to come over to this lava fall region of the thermal plant, and you'll find this kind of like smiley face looking thing on the right corner here when you come in, and you want to look about where the middle of the face is, and you want to deploy, and it's going to get your MVB about here stuck, and you should be able to climb it and go out of bounds. Sometimes it does this where you get stuck halfway, and we're just gonna have to pick it up, redeploy it, and do that. And there you go. And that should go right next to the Clip C base. Now I'm going to show you the alternative one for Clip D, if you want to call it, the alternative Clip C one. So instead of going to that face down there, we're going to go up a layer to where this bridge is. You're going to find this pillar, and you want to find this kind of indent here. So there's this one indent here compared to everywhere else, and then there's this black spot right here, or this line. We're going to go to the right of it, where this kind of more reddish look is. We're going to go to these like details and deploy it, and it should do something like this, and then you look behind you and you can climb it, pick it up like that. So if your MVB doesn't do that, and it does something like this, you want to actually redeploy it, and you do not want that to happen for this clip. Because if you get it like this, it should perfectly go to where you do not need to move it at all in the end segment. So this right here, this is perfect. In the end segment, you now do not need to move it, and you should be able to instantly make the platform. And then also remember, this is very thin terrain here, so you have just enough space to move around a little bit to go down before you leave. Okay, now I'm going to show you clip A and B. So on the other side of the lava fall, the other entrance or exit, you're going to find this area right here. Unfortunately, I'm not the most consistent at this clip, but it's about this area right here. And you can get a clip like this, climb out, and you have plenty of space here. And that should go straight to next to clip A, slightly farther out from it. And now for clip B, you have to go all the way out to this side's exit, and find this kind of indent here, and this is where you're gonna be in this area, and you're kind of gonna throw it towards the indent, and try to get it to go up like that right there, and climb out, and that should go in the kelp forest next to the geyser, the coral tube side kelp forest. I'm going to show you all the basic glitches you're going to need to know throughout the whole run. So, the first one that you use directly at the start is with the life pod storage. If you interact with the life pod storage, it pulls up the PDA, but it's slightly delayed, so you can open it and quickly leave either from the hatch or the ladder, usually the hatch, and it cancels the animation of you fully bringing the PDA up. So next time you open the PDA, it'll like be the storage. Like that. And now if I open my inventory, I have the life pod storage. Okay, and now the next glitch. If you have a flooded base, get in it, you can deconstruct and then reconstruct the hatch. It'll think you're both swimming and walking at the same time. So put those two speeds together and you'll get a glitch called Super Seaglide, and you'll be really, really fast. This next one, it's just like ghost storage from the life pod locker, but instead it's using a flare on a locker in the base. So if you throw it, there's a little animation. So if you throw it and then click to open the locker, no matter where you go, you can now interact with that storage. Pretty cool. The next glitch is floater skip, fish skip, or flare skip, or pretty much anything, even a mobile vehicle bay, something you can throw. You can use it to skip animations like the purple tablet, the ion cube, and probably others. So the easiest one is the fish skip. When you throw the fish, it has a small animation. In the window of right when you do the animation, you want to switch to your Seaglide or whatever you want to use, like your scanner. So like this, and it will pull up your Seaglide when it's done. And now all you have to do is do that. So you throw it and click your hotkey for whatever you want. And then right after you click the hotkey for what you want, pick it up, and bam, it'll overlap the animation and you can do whatever you want during it. Okay, so for here, for the floater hotkey and then grab it and it will skip the animation. Okay, now for the most important glitch of the run that's allowing us to even remotely beat the game so fast, we have to get over to the Aurora before it explodes. So if you get to the Aurora before it explodes, go to the back of it, kind of like this line right here of the booster, and you'll find that where this booster is, if it's not exploded, there's this little hole you can go through. Make it day so it's easier to see. You can go through this hole. Be very careful because you can kind of get caught on the terrain here, and that would be bad. And this is called Aurora clip. So we're going to clip into the Aurora like this, but then we're gonna clip into the actual playable area of the Aurora as well. So to get to the playable area of the Aurora, kind of follow this line here, and you should find it. If it's nighttime, if you go far enough, these kind of things right here kind of glow, and you can kind of see that. But now we're in the playable area of the Aurora, but we're not in it yet. So to get in it, you can kind of just like launch yourself up into there, or even here, you can launch yourself up into here and you can walk in. But the best way to do it for any percent is, because we're only trying to get the Aurora blueprint, we're gonna go to this kind of area here or anywhere here that's not this, unless you're very, very low HP and you're gonna die in the next 10 seconds. Don't go in here because then we can't get out. So you kind of look there, and then do not press WASD. Just hold space. So you want to be like about 15 meters down for the best. I usually go like 20 meters down. Hold space, and you should be able to jump straight through the Aurora like that. As long as you hold space. Nothing else. And then you're into the Aurora here. You can put in the code. You can get the Neptune. Or you can go through the rest of this place. Okay, and now to show you the backup of how to clip into the Aurora, if you do not have Super Seaglide, or if you do have Super Seaglide and are not confident with that, you can still do this easier. So you come over to, instead of like where the cabins are, where it says locker room, so you want to go to the locker room, and then this is where you come up from the locker room. You can kind of jump up here, even without Super Seaglide, and then walk up, and then you're gonna be here. But you're gonna notice that you can't really get through here. You have to jump above it and clip through. This is why you're gonna probably need medkits for this way, because you have to take this fall jump and you're gonna be in the radiation for longer. To get over there, get over to the captain's quarters quickly. Jump on this. Jump on this. You can jump like over this, and then just jump through the railing like that, and then you should be able to easily get to the captain's quarters from here. And bam, you're in. And now for the MVB clip, or the mobile vehicle bay clip. You're gonna have to have the mobile vehicle bay, and if you find overhangs like this, you can use it to your advantage, like this one that we do in a run called mountain clip. And we can do this, and it will deploy itself in a way to where it'll go through the wall, and we can climb out of bounds like this. So it works best on overhangs like that, but can also work on non-overhangs by kind of wedging yourself like sideways like this and deploying it, and it's staying sideways, and you can climb through the wall. It's very hard to do. Okay, there we go. And then you can climb through it and out of bounds. And another way is called kind of YOLO clip. If you deployed the MVP before, you can then like into the wall out of bounds like this, and then you do that, and you can deploy yourself out of bounds very quickly. The reason what you want to do it into the wall, so then you have enough time to go up and out of the MVP. And the final important glitch to learn is wreck despawning. If you take a compartment or a base piece, you can place it inside of wreck sometimes, and when you do that, it despawns the wreck. And you can get all the blueprints that were in it. But there's a problem. It has a chance to delete the databank entries that are in the wreck. So if you're doing a 100% run and you deconstruct the wrong wreck, you could lose that, and then you lose the run because you don't have that. If you have any questions or need any help, join the Discord in the description for the community, and we're very nice. We like to help. But other than that, have fun with it.